Feels good to be in the place we're in. Feels like it's
Mm.
been a long time coming, and that all of a sudden the dots are starting to connect in some pretty good ways. Feels good to be in a position to help people from a place of I can feel good about helping people when I go to bed, not
Mm.
just selling some product that supposedly helps people so that I can pay my bills, but really get out there and do what I think is contributing to one of the most important areas of life, of society, of the future, you know. I mean, healthy relationships create healthy environments for kids to grow up in. And if we just got that right, the world would be a hell of a lot better place.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the kids, right? But
You're listening to the Better Relationships After Baby podcast, where I believe things can actually be better than ever after having kids. But it takes intentional conversation, personal growth, and community to get there. I'm Chelsea Skaggs, life and relationship coach, fellow mom and wife, and lover of taboo topics. I'm here to give you insight, practical tools, and conversations to help your relationships survive and thrive through the big changes of parenthood. Let's get into today's episode.
I mean, that's a big factor. And I think people, what we've seen is people put their relationship on the back burner. Not necessarily they put it there. It gets displaced there because of all the other responsibilities and the new dimension of parenthood that has opened up and everything that comes with that.
Well, I loved that introduction, and I don't even know how to follow it up. I'm like, I'm going to get kicked off of my own podcast because you just swept right in with this magical language and energy.
Stop it. No, I mean, you have been doing this work for a while, and it has only gotten better. And it's been beautiful to see, and I'm really excited. There's a better word; it'll come to me later. But I'm just pumped to be a part of it because you've developed so much and built so much, and it's valuable. And there's people out there that don't even know what they're getting into.
Yeah.
And nobody's talking about it. Like,
Yeah.
this is so important. So important. So it's, it's worth pouring into. Okay, so how you feeling today?
I'm feeling a lot of things. I'm feeling urgent in this mission. The world feels really big and heavy. And I'm often asking myself what my place is in that.
Mm-hmm.
And my friends reminded me this week that like my life's work for the last few years has been around supporting families and mothers and couples. And just like you said, I can't think personally of a better way that I can try to make the world a better place than creating strong home environments. One that like people our age deserve. In our 30s and our 40s, like we should be enjoying our relationships and our partnerships. And also our future, I think, depends on emotionally healthy kids.
Yeah.
Who become emotionally healthy adults. Like, surely we're at the point of evolution at this point that we should be able to have a society built on that.
Yeah.
And the work and the reworking and the unlearning and the learning that people right now, I think specifically in our 30s and our 40s, that is shaping the future.
Yeah. And the present, too.
And the present. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. It's not all about what's ahead, but like what you get to experience and enjoy right now.
Yeah. I think on that note, is it okay?
Yep.
Okay. It is, thinking about the future, it is good. Um, that's sort of like the reward that comes later, when you invest. But the reward now, I mean, that comes automatically. The reward now is being able to be present
Yeah.
with the ones you love. Let me say it like this. I guess the last few days that I've had with my kids have been just so beautiful. And it's because I've had the chance to slow down with them, spend time being a safe place, and allowing them to talk and open up. And we talked for an hour or two about things. And I recognize I'm literally pouring my knowledge into my kids. I'm pouring my understanding and values and all those things. And I think that was more common when we were an agrarian society and the families were pretty much together all day long. And then as society has developed into the industrial age and whatnot, fathers were away, and then mothers joined the workforce. And, none of these things are bad. They have pros and cons. And, um, like, managing them well is the key. But those moments that you do get, whether it's a weekend or a weeknight, that you're able to really show up, be a safe place, a place of strength for your kids, that's everything. I mean, that is a reward to me.
Yeah.
And I know it's good for my kids. I don't know what started that, but
Me either. I was like, I did not have agrarian society on the bullet points for the outline of today's talk.
Yeah.
It is just the depth of why we are choosing collectively as a family right now to 100% pour into this business.
Yeah.
Into postpartum together, into the support work that we feel called to, not in a weird way, but like just feels so true to us because of our story, because of what we've felt, because of what we've experienced, and because of the opportunities for joy and growth and expansion we've also seen and want for people.
Absolutely.
That's like, the big news that you are stepping into this business so much more.
Yeah.
Having this space, this business that is supporting society by supporting individuals and couples, has been part of our vision.
Yeah.
Our goals.
From the beginning, actually, I think.
Truly, I think, from the beginning. And we've always kind of hoped that the perfect time would come when we had all of our ducks in a row and everything was aligned and followed our plan, and life hasn't always followed our plan.
How dare it?
But the exciting part of that is that it made a great time for us to join forces, to be able to take this business to the next level, both in like the volume of people we're able to serve, but really also the depth we're able to go and provide with our clients by offering both perspectives, by offering our tools from 2 different toolkits, by sharing truly, not because our relationship is perfect by any means, but because we know that we have learned and developed and cultivated tools and perspectives that can help people go from a ho-hum, let's just get through this kind of relationship, from stay together for the kids to stay together because I actually do like you and I chose you for a reason and I want to grow and expand and do the ups and downs of life with you.
Yeah, that is very, very good. And that made me think of this phrase I heard, and it's the grass is not greener on the other side as much as it is greener where you water it and tend it and care for it. And that's one of the challenges, I think, in modern society, is that people fall in love, which is great. But then when those feelings are gone for a long enough period of time, and people aren't doing anything actively to help their relationship, that's when things fall apart. It's never going to always feel great. But the more you put into it, the better it feels, the better it is, the greener the grass grows.
Yeah. Yeah. But we have definitely been in the place where we've looked at each other and wondered if we could keep doing life together.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Specifically, I don't know exactly the month, but I know we were in our Apple Valley house, and
That was a tough time.
It was a very tough time. And
That's when you had postpartum rage.
I did. Yeah. I had a lot of pressure and a lot of fear and a lot of rage. But I remember then being like, it feels like it would be easier to be a single mother than to figure out how to figure this all out with another person who thinks so differently than me. They're not getting what I'm saying. They're not seeing it from my perspective. So many things felt so dire, and we saw it from different places. And in that time, it felt like our energies were competing, like there was a scarcity. Everything felt like a threat in that time. And that's specifically what I remember as the like, shit, either we have to put down this facade and get real and figure out how we do this together, or we figure out how we afford 2 rents or 2 mortgages and a shared custody plan. Like, which one are we going to do?
Right. Been there. Yeah. And it's that season and the one right after, right? Or right before.
Which, New Albany?
Yeah, New Albany.
Right after.
Hellacious. It was so bad.
It's funny, I don't remember New Albany as bad as Apple Valley.
Blocked it from your memory. Yeah, but I was working a difficult job that was very demanding, and I think, I don't know, it was very hard. I remember that, and I also felt like, this person that I'm with, being Chelsea, of course, is not like helping. I mean, I feel awful when we're together. And she's a raging rager. So, but I mean, that was, and of course I'm, I don't know what the word is, but we'll just say sensitive. So your rage was maybe bigger to me than it actually was. But, it was so hard. And it was, for me, I didn't even entertain another option. I just kind of kept my head down and kept going. But at the same time, I didn't see a way that it was actually going to pan out well.
Oh.
But it has. It has gotten so much better. Worlds. I mean, it's like, it is so, like, our relationship is so life-giving to me now. And it definitely was not that in seasons.
Oh. Yeah. We hurt each other a lot out of our own exhaustion, fear,
Yeah.
internal and external pressure that we felt on ourselves.
Yeah. I think one of the things that kept me going, or kept me sort of sticking with it, before we met, was spending a lot of time meditating, trying to be a monk, as you know, and you came in and ruined those plans. um, but I had gone deep into what matters in life. You know, I was kind of going through the existential stage of what's it all about? What's it all mean? And at the end, I came out with, some insights that I felt like were good for me, some good guidance. But one of them was families and how important, like a society, the basic building block of a society, really is a family. You could say it's an individual, but humans are made to be in groups. Like we evolved in collectives, and to be isolated, it can work, but for the most part, that's not going to be the ideal, right? So the sort of like there's this term like irreducibility, like you can only get it so small.
Okay. Yeah.
And so like the family unit is kind of like the basic irreducible part. Because if you take that apart, then, if all of society was individuals, kids wouldn't, have families to grow up in and all that. So it's like such a good space that needs to be protected. It's such a space to incubate the next generation. I just felt like, okay, if I'm going to choose something that's important, it's family. It's stability of family, strength of family, the safety in family. And that's what I was committed to. And so many times when it was hard in our relationship, I just kept telling myself, like, if family's that important, then I have to stick it out, or I'm literally going against what I feel like is so important. There's probably a much cooler way to say that, but
are you
no,
okay?
as long as
I
you
think
understand.
something else that's interesting about our journey and like what we bring to the table for people that maybe not everyone would know, but our commitment and understanding of family, I think, has gone through some massive rebuilds.
Yeah,
specifically
definitely.
around both having a very churched background in very formative years, both having, this purity culture and till death do us part, right?
Right.
And then our decision to kind of step away from most of that, from the constructs and the kind of guidebook that you got in the church, and to say, okay, now what does it look like to rebuild values and morals and what we see as good in the world without the playbook of the church, which is its own big undertaking to rewrite and restructure and decide and say, okay, well, all of these choices we've made, monogamy, family and children, and the way we were doing life was built on the framework of the church. And once we left that, what were we left with that we chose from our heart and soul, as best we know, to choose to focus on? I think I get really, really passionate about couples who are in that season. I think you do too, like that post-church deconstruction.
Reconstruction.
Right. How do we rebuild with our own brains and souls and tools? And figure out what that is for us without the outside structure.
Yeah. And it's hard. I mean, it is difficult to do that build, but a lot of people are doing it. I'm excited to see where that goes. I think that has been very cleansing for a lot of people, because we've come back to the good things, right? And we've tried to shed the unhelpful baggage. So I think identifying your own values was step one, and then everything else kind of builds from that.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? We're just shooting the shit.
I don't know what's next.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you see? What do you see as the next iteration for the business, for
great
how
question.
we are?
I think there's going to be, just because of the state of the world, a tremendous amount of pressure and stress put on families. And I want to preserve, I want as many families as possible to stay together and not crack.
Yeah.
That's probably my main underlying driver right there. There's more to it, but that's, I think, the biggest elephant in the room.
Is what? Just the state
Just the
of
stress.
relationships?
Yeah, just the stress on families right now, and how it looks like it will get worse. And I think if all the families start to break apart, that makes society weaker.
Yeah.
That has negative ripple effects. And so being able to strengthen people where they're able to stay together and it not be hellacious, but actually good, and that their family then becomes a place of sanctuary, a place of strength and refreshment and refuge. Like that is what I want to see, and kind of that's like defying the shit that's on the horizon, just preparing for it. If a storm's coming, then let's, strengthen our foundations.
Grow our roots.
That's right.
Yeah. So what do you see for the business?
Oh, for the business.
With that in mind, what do you hope to bring? Or
I hope to inspire a lot of couples and give vision for what can be. Our own story and the stories of those we know. Like, there is always hope, and sometimes sometimes a separation is the right thing. I mean, it is. I don't want to say it never is, because sometimes that is healthiest for everybody. But I think in all the other cases where people break apart because of the stress or the pressure, like, it is very hard on a relationship when there's not enough money to go around, for instance. And it is very easy to start attacking each other. And, that's the least helpful thing. You're on a team. You've got to figure it out together. And it's about rising above the reactionary state to be mature enough to choose something different that will be helpful, that will be productive. Man, you got to swallow your ego sometimes on that.
Wow.
But at the end of the day, what do you want? So I think the business is really just getting in front of as many people as possible, offering them tools, strategies, the things you've already created in this business, and more. And I think, my hope is that we can really create a movement for people, because, again, you stood up in this space when nobody else was, and you stuck with it. I mean, the reason it's getting so much traction now, where before people were like, oh, what's that? And now they're like, oh shit, we need that. This season is very hard, and it's different this generation. Most of the women are in the workforce, right?
And the grandmas,
right? Yes,
are in the workforce too. So we don't have free childcare, and we don't have the support systems in the villages,
right,
that people have had in previous generations.
Right.
It's exhausting.
It is exhausting
to expect yourself and your partner to fill all those buckets.
Yeah, all your kids' needs, plus running a household, paying the bills, doing
be
the
emotionally
things.
Present to one another.
Right. Yeah. And that's where we had to get these tools and strategies.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't happen naturally. There's different ways of interpreting this, but I think it was the Dalai Lama that said nothing ultimately good happens just naturally. Like there's effort and intention behind everything good we see in the world. And I think that's, I don't necessarily fully understand that, but I do think I understand at least a nugget of that truth. And, a marriage left alone doesn't grow. It needs nourished. It needs water and sunlight.
I hope that we get to the point where it's like your yearly check-in. You come to us yearly and we do 6 to 10 sessions together for a season of your year where it's just your upgrade. You just keep upgrading your relationship every year, and we know you and we get to build that deep relationship, and like that's just one of your annual appointments. I don't know. That's something I was dreaming about.
Yeah. And you've had, repeat clients that
through different seasons.
Yeah.
It's been really cool.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Well, I'm open. It's so interesting to be in a place of like, there are plans that I think we're really excited about. And we're open to the doors that come our way. Like we just got to speak together for the first time and it was outstanding. And I cannot wait to get on stages and in front of people, just delivering this information together with you.
I'm so excited about that part. It's fun to be united, like in business, in family, to really be united on all these channels and overlaps. It's very cool. Very cool. So
do you have anything else before I feel like we've got so many parts of our story and our journey and everything that we'll get into over the next few weeks here on the podcast. Anything else in this like welcome, Mike?
I think I'm excited just to be able to pour into something that seems so important. It's kind of like you said about the stages. I'm excited about what we don't know is coming, right? Like I'm excited about the things that we're planning for. And I'm also excited about the things that happen when you're operating in that way that you don't plan for, but they happen because you're connecting dots, you're meeting people, like doors open and things grow. So I'm just very excited about what we know and what we don't know on our front.
I also just have to say as a closing, probably, that as you might know, I do struggle on the control side, and the idea of letting you in to my business, even though I know you're going to make it 10 times better, has been scary. And the idea today of introducing you as a partner on my podcast, which is like my baby in some ways, was scary for me an hour ago. And there are things that you said that I'm like, I know that he has thought through these things and he feels it, but like you articulated so well and so in line with what I want for this brand in this future. And I'm just tickled. Like it's so fun to be like, exhale, like exhale some of my control, my tight grip, my fear, and know that this has been the reoccurring theme for us in so many areas of our life. It's that exhale. I have a teammate. This person is on my side. They're getting to know me more every day. They're working on themselves so that they know how they bring themselves to the table. Like I have a teammate. And that's just very exciting for me.
Well, thanks for letting me come on board.
Yeah. Thanks for having a vision for this together. If you enjoyed this episode, I would be so grateful if you take a minute to help spread the word. As a small business owner, shares and reviews go a long way. So share this episode with a friend, share it on your social media, and please leave a review if you haven't done so. This helps these messages get to more mamas, and you guys, that's how we change the world.